TAKKYUBIN is an excellent service for sending your luggage in Japan so you don't have to carry it with you. I tried it out for the first time earlier this year and here's how it went. There'll also be details about prices, where you can send luggage from and to, and how to fill in the forms. And as always, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. Before, I made a video about taking your luggage on the Shinkansen and what it's like finding the lifts and taking your luggage on the train. Another way to do it is to send your luggage with a luggage sending service called TAKKYUBIN from Yamato Delivery Company. That's what most people who live in Japan do, and I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I've never tried it. So today we're going to try it for the first time. We're going from Kumamoto all the way up to Tokyo over 2 days. We're taking a night ferry tonight, but that's a whole separate story. You can send suitcases at the front desk of your hotel or from a Yamato Delivery Company office. Obviously, if you're staying in hotels, the hotel front desk is the easiest option. So that's what we're going to do today. Here's the suitcases we're sending. These are basically the largest suitcases you can take on a plane. They're just within the 160 centimeters limit on the Shinkansen. Last night I asked at the hotel what we should do and they gave me a form to fill in. So I filled in the details of our next hotel and now we're going to take the suitcases down to the front desk. So here's how to fill in the form. I think at some places they fill in your details on an iPad and print out a label, so you might not have to do a paper form, but here it is just in case. First, fill in the details of where you're sending it to, the postcode, phone number, hotel name and address. Under receiver's name, put your own name and care of because it's care of the hotel. Next, add the details of the sender. I use the details of the hotel I was sending it from and my own name as the shipper's name. Next, say what the contents of the parcel are. There's not much room, so I just put clothes. This section is for the delivery date and time. I just left that for the hotel staff to fill in because I wasn't sure what options are available. And that's it. When you fill in the form, make sure you use a biro and press quite hard. The form has multiple layers with carbon paper and you want to make sure it goes all the way through to the bottom copy. We just sorted out the TAKKYUBIN at the front desk of the hotel and it was pretty easy. So last night they recommended that we drop it off in the morning because the collection would be during the day, so it's better to drop your bags off in the morning rather than the night before in the evening. And the process took about 10 or 15 minutes because they had to fill in some forms and look up some details, so make sure you've got enough time. You don't want to be rushing to get your Shinkansen or something. It turns out you need one of those forms for each item you're sending, so for our 2 suitcases we needed an extra form. It's one per item. She also asked what time we'd like it to arrive and there was a choice of time range options. Here's the form. They gave us this one completed as a kind of receipt, so I'm guessing we'll need to show that when we pick them up at our next hotel. So we're sending our luggage quite a long way from Kumamoto in Kyushu to Tokyo. Now everything I've seen about TAKKYUBIN online said it arrives the next day, but it turns out for longer distances it can take 2 days to arrive. For remote locations I knew it could take 2 days, like from Hokkaido or from Okinawa, which is quite a long way down to the south in the sea, but I didn't realise that Kyushu also counted as a remote location. So that's something to bear in mind. I think most of the blogs and videos about TAKKYUBIN had been from people doing common journeys like from Kyoto and Osaka to Tokyo, which can be delivered next day. So those shorter journeys like Kyoto or Osaka to Tokyo can be delivered next day, but longer journeys like Kyushu to Tokyo or maybe Hokkaido down to further south might take 2 days. So what we've done is we've got a mini suitcase and backpacks with us, so we've got overnight stuff with us and enough stuff for 2 days. There is also a quicker premium next day service, but that costs quite a lot more. It was about twice as much for our trip. The cost for our 2 suitcases from Kumamoto to Tokyo was 5,660 yen in total. So before, I've always taken my suitcases with me because that's the free option, although you do have to drag them through the station and make sure you've reserved the seat with extra space for luggage on the Shinkansen. So this is the easier option. You do have to pay for it. It's not super cheap, but when you consider how much it would cost to send a suitcase by post in the UK, for example, that is pretty good value. So Let's hope they arrive safely in Tokyo. I'll see you there. From Kumamoto, we took the Shinkansen to Kitakyushu, spent the day in Shimonoseki, which is known for fugu, that's pufferfish. Then we took the night ferry to Kobe, spent the next day in Universal Studios before taking the Shinkansen to Tokyo in the evening, and now it's the morning after that. All of that will be in separate videos, so subscribe if you want to see them. It's 2 days later, we're in Tokyo now, so our suitcases should be arriving today. They've got some air tags in them, so we've tracked them and it looks like they're in the building. They're supposed to be arriving later this afternoon, but it looks like they're already here, so we're going to go and ask the front desk if they've arrived. We've got them, the cases were here, and they've got a copy of our form on them. I just went up to the luggage people at the front desk at the hotel and gave them my form and said TAKKYUBIN, and they went and got the suitcases and I had to sign for them. So that worked perfectly. Remember, if you're not travelling such a long distance, your suitcases might arrive the next day. But actually, it wasn't too bad just travelling with backpacks and a mini suitcase. In a way, it didn't fill up the hotel room as much, so that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. We have to carry stuff for filming with us, the cameras, and lots of chargers and extra batteries and things, so you might be able to get away with just backpacks or smaller bags for overnight stuff. You can also send from a convenience store, which is a good option if you're staying in an Airbnb and don't have front desk staff to help you. Convenience stores in the main areas can be quite small and cramped and busy, so I'd pick one on a quieter street that's larger, so they've got more time to help you and space to store your large suitcases. If you're sending your luggage to an Airbnb, you will need someone there to receive it, so a better option might be to send it to the nearest Yamato Transport office. Yamato Transport do have quite a few offices around. You can find them on Google Maps, and they also have desks at the airport if you're sending your luggage to or from the airport. Understandably, there are cut-off times for when they come and pick it up, so it's better to drop it off earlier in the morning if you can. The cost depends on the size of your luggage and the distance you're travelling. I found it quite tricky to work out beforehand how much it was going to be, so just know that if your luggage is smaller than ours, or if you're travelling a shorter distance, it's likely to be less than what we paid. Remember that when you're travelling around Japan, coin lockers can also be really useful if you need somewhere to store your luggage or drop it off for a few hours while you're going around somewhere. There's a video on my channel all about them and how to use them. There are other companies that offer similar services like Sagawa Delivery. TAKKYUBIN from Yamato Transport is just the most popular and most well-known one, and it has the cutest logo. But I just use whichever one your hotel works with. And Takuhaibin, TAKKYUBIN and Ta-Q-Bin with a Q are all just different names for the same thing. Some people really rave about TAKKYUBIN, and everyone who's used it seems to be a big fan, so it does seem to be a good, reliable service, and unlike some delivery companies, they do seem to take care of your stuff. Even though the cost is reasonable, if you're doing a multi-leg journey with lots of different destinations, the cost could start to add up. Even though I don't have any complaints about it, in the future I probably would carry my luggage with me just because it's free and I can. But there are certain situations where it could be useful, like if you're doing a stopover on a long journey or a side trip, or maybe a ryokan stay, or if for some reason it's inconvenient to have your luggage with you. And it's perfect for families if you've got more suitcases than you can carry, and for people who have trouble carrying heavy luggage. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. And if you've used TAKKYUBIN, let me know your experiences and how it went for you. And I'll be back next week on Thursday with more videos about Japan. Bye bye.